astrology. We're talking about your April 2023 with G. Yeah. So let's get into this. We have three things to talk about. Three things to talk about for April. All right. So before I get into dates and degrees and all that fun stuff, we have Mars making a move. Mars makes a move at the end of March. And so at the end of March, the last 3 days, you'll probably notice it. Mars moves and leaves the sign of Gemini. Gemini energy. Mars leaves it, right? It was extreme. It was out of bounds. It was intense. It was long. It was 6 months. Mars is now going into the Cancer energy. This is family and home. This is feelings. This is empathic abilities. This is emotional security. This is mother energy. This is the mother wound. This is family. This is tribe energy, your tribe. Who is part of your tribe? This is also the public. Like when you're out in the public, literally, you know, when you go to a concert and you're like listening to that song and you're all like, you know, or even at a football game and everyone's like doing the wave or whatever they do, right? Everyone's got their candle lit or their lighter going, or, you know, you're in this group with the masses, but you're kind of all swaying together, right? And you kind of all vibe with each other at that moment. The public, it's the feelings, right? You know how the pulse of the public, how we can be swayed, especially politicians swayed by the public, people who are performers and actors. And a concert is a great example of this, because people who have to do live performances, they will say, you need that audience there, man. The audience feeds you. Like you literally can feel their energy and they feed you, right? And you can also get immediate feedback on, okay, do they like this? Is this good? Is this crap, right? So that feeling is Cancer energy, and Mars is going into the sign of Cancer. Okay. Now this is also the home. So it can be like literally the sticks and the bricks, or wherever your home is, whatever you call home. Okay. So Mars being there, Mars doesn't, this can be tricky because Cancer is really sensitive and Mars is extremely assertive, normally aggressive, impatient, easily irritated. So this is your feelings and your emotions. So keep all these things in mind for the entire month of April and the end of March. Okay. So Mars being here, we just got to remember who Mars is. Born for war, carries weapons, knives, can like create wounds, inflammation, the physical body. I'm thinking how Mars just wants to take off, right? It's that rocket. It's the boosters on a rocket. That's Mars. It's the Marines, the first ones out. I'm the first one there. I got there first. I left first. I took off first. I made it. I won the race. I got first place. This is all Mars energy. All Mars. It's really good going out of the gate. It doesn't have staying power, though. It's sporadic bursts of energy. So this reminds me right now, I need to contact somebody and let them know, because this will be sporadic emotional outbursts as well. Mars and Cancer. And I know a little guy who was born, anyway, without giving out too many details, I know a little guy who was born with parents that were users. And so this little boy is now 7 years old. And so he's got a lot of just shit that he's been dealing with. And so there's a lot of emotions because he's, not necessarily being raised by his birth parents. And anyway, it's complicated as hell. And so this means likely, yeah. And I'm just keeping this little one in my mind because he's prone to having emotional outbursts. Yeah. So Mars could do that because it's in the emotions, and Mars can heat up the emotional waters. All right. And so it's not just for this little guy. This is for all of us to keep in mind for the month of April. All right. So I'm going through it. You're going through it. That little guy's going through it. Pisces, everybody's going to be going through it. And if you're Pisces, which you are, the benefit is that Mars is moving into the sign of Cancer. And that is a benefit for you, Pisces, because Cancer and Pisces are both water signs. So this gives you a beautiful trine energy. Yeah, it's a sweet trine, right? Yeah, it's trine energy. It's very beneficial. It brings ease. It brings ease. All right. So now we want to know, where is this happening in your life? This is happening for Pisces. This is your fifth house. Mars is going through your fifth house. Okay. Now, Mars will still be in Cancer energy after April. It's the degrees that matter. I've got the degrees down below. I believe they're between, like, I want to say 8 and 18 degrees, 7 and 18 degrees of Cancer. So, depending upon your Pisces, whether it's a Pisces sun, Pisces birthday, if you know the degrees of it, then you know how you're getting a benefit. You know that Mars is benefiting in it. And when, like the timing on the calendar, that's what the degrees mean. The degrees have dates. All right. So if you don't know and you want to know, comment to me below. I will help you out in any way that I can. That is what this channel does. That's what I do. Okay. Now that we understand Mars and that it can be a benefit to you in that way, Mars being in Pisces fifth house is children. I guess that's why I saw a picture of the little guy, because this is children. This would be sports for kids too, definitely, because now Mars is there. The fifth house is already, it's Leo energy. It's the fifth house. So it's usually quite athletic by nature. Okay. Natural abilities, because it likes to have fun with its body. So typically sports, organized sports, typically, but it can be gymnastics. I mean, that's organized. It can be gymnastics, but it can be performance art, which isn't gymnastics. Performance art can be, like, I think a lot of things fall under the category of performance art. There's some really, really cool artists out there. I'm talking about somebody working with paints, literally, just super talented people where they're very physical in doing what they're doing. So this could be that, because Mars goes there, so it ignites it. Remember the thrusters on a ship? Mars ignites it. But remember, it's sporadic bursts of energy. It doesn't have the duration. It's meant to sprint. Mars is not a marathoner. It is a sprinter. Okay. So going into your fifth, children, joy, creativity, romance, and having a fun with my body. So if you happen to be female and looking for a male, this could be masculine energy coming through, because that's Mars. Masculine energy coming through your fifth house into that sweet spot. Yeah, I just said that. So anyway, Mars is there, having fun with the body, taking a risk with my body. Mars needs to be physically challenged. That's typical, that Mars needs challenges, physical challenge. But this is with likely children, or maybe it has to do with how you were when you were a kid. What did you do when you were a child? Because it's got kind of the past vibration, because it's Cancer. So there's something there about our past and our emotions. But again, Cancer is family, right? And it's in the house placement of children. But mom can be here too, having fun with mom, doing games with mom even, right? Or vice versa. Right? Who's the mom? It doesn't always have to be mom by birth. These can be people in your life who feel like family. Okay. So Mars likes to be the instigator. So it wants to start things. So it might be a little aggressive. So you might have to tell that Mars to chill out a little bit, to relax. But if Mars is in the fifth house, it wants to have fun. It wants to laugh. So attending comedies, being a comedian, being the clown, being the jester, whatever you find fun. Not everybody finds rock climbing fun. Not everybody finds swimming in water or being on a boat, but maybe performances, watching ballets, watching gymnasts, watching a baseball game. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is going to be entertaining, because that's what the fifth house is. It's the place of entertainment. You've got Cancer energy there. It's a very creative placement, actually. But remember, it's very empathic. So feelings and emotions and family are involved with this. Okay. That's the entire month of April. Now, we go back to the beginning of the month. I just wanted to create the foundation for you. Cancer energy, Mars there. Mars kind of rules this month. And we're going to get into a little bit further as to why a little bit later, or in a minute. So the beginning of the month, another lunar thing. It's a full moon. It's an ending. It's a completion. It's a closure. It's a full moon, right? Now it's in Libra energy, partnerships, significant one-on-one partnerships. Right. Significant one-on-one partnerships. So that's a big deal, because it's a closure. It's a completion. It says we're finished. It doesn't have to be we're finished like I don't ever want to talk to you again. We're finished. It just means we had a we might have had an agreement, a set amount of time in place, right? Because this can be professional too. Like you can be contracted to do work or something. You could meet with people one-on-one for just 90 minutes a day, or 90 minutes, a one-time visit, even 90 minutes, a session or something, right? It could be something like that. It's a significant one-on-one relationship. Now, for Pisces, this is in your 8th house. So this is fascinating because it's a full moon. It's Libran energy. This speaks to a significant one-on-one relationship, someone you were possibly married to at one time, and wounds from that marriage or wounds from that partnership. Because it's a full moon, it's a release and an ending about those wounds. This is a transformation, a change. Remember, these are deep, intense vulnerabilities even, right? So this can be really perfect. I'm thinking of a person in particular who's talked to me multiple times about divorce and who been in the process of, and there's children shared within the marriage. So there's never really an ending to that, is there? No. But the degrees for the full moon are 16 degrees. So if you have something in your chart at 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 degrees, that's a 2-degree orb before and a 2-degree orb after the Libra full moon, 16 degrees. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 degrees. This will be a release for you in your life. This is deep emotional wounds, blood bonds, possibly, meaning someone you're literally actually related to, because this is a placement where people can inherit things, but don't get all excited. I mean, this is a release. This is an ending. This is a let go. It can go a lot of different ways, right? Sometimes this is tax money too, because it's the 8th house, it's Scorpio energy. And these can be people that if we weren't married to them, we were intimately bonded. So that can be physically or emotionally. It could be some sort of an extreme experience we went through and that we bonded through that experience. Okay. So it's a let go. Now, as we move on to the month, we go to the new moon. The new moon is a big deal. The new moon is ruled by Mars. Right. This is what I was going to get to, right? Why is Mars rule this month? Because Mars was moving into the sign of Cancer. And then we had a full moon in Libra. Okay, well, Cancer and Libra energies square each other typically. Right. They square each other. Right. So for you, Cancer, that 5th house energy of children squaring your 8th house of what you're going to release. You see what I'm saying about partnerships and possibly children and possibly someone you were married to, or if not married, possibly you had children with. Like there's a stress and tension energy. Okay. Mars being in that placement down there, angling the other placement with the Libra relationships. So maybe it wasn't a divorce, but maybe it brings on or resurfaces old wounds that you thought were processed and that you were done with, things you didn't think you were still dealing with. This could be wounds from a previous marriage or a previous partnership that somehow come up in the current partnership, because that's what happens. If we haven't resolved them, somehow that new partner, that new relationship, something about them triggers it. And we blame it on them because we think it's them, not realizing it's shit that's buried deep within ourselves, right? And it takes a long time. And sometimes people need to go to therapy for stuff like that. Absolutely. 8th house is all about that. When we get to this new moon, though, it's a really big deal. It's not just a new moon. Every new moon is when the sun and the moon get together. That's masculine and feminine energy coming together, which is why we talk about new moons as being a point of creation. It's a very powerful time to set intentions. Okay. This new moon is an eclipse. This is a total solar eclipse in the sign of Aries. That's why I said Mars is the ruler. Mars rules Aries. Okay. Now, because it's an eclipse, well, first of all, why is it an eclipse, not just a new moon? It's an eclipse because it's near one of the nodes. It's near the North Node. The North Node is in Taurus energy. Right. So that tells us a lot. It means it's a North Node, so it's my future. It's about where I'm going, where I'm headed. But because the node's in Taurus, it has to do with our values. Because it's in Taurus, it has to do with who I value. This can be money. This can be love. This can be love for yourself. Do I love myself enough to walk away from this person? Do I love myself enough to say yes to this person? Do I love myself enough to say no to this person? This is about your future. You are making an action. You are taking an action with your future because you're thinking about your future. It's based on, but this is what I want. And because this is what I want, I know I got to make some changes. And this is that new beginning, the solar eclipse in Aries. Now, let's check out the degrees, because if you have matching degrees, this is a big deal. The degrees of the eclipse are like at 2950. All right. So because it's like 2955, we're rounding it up to 30 degrees of the sign of Aries. Now, we all know when we look at charts, they don't show 0 degrees of Aries. Technically, that would go to the next sign. I think in some other videos, I don't know why, but I was saying Taurus energy. So I'm going to have to get that out of there. But it then goes to, I'm sorry, I was saying Pisces energy. It goes to Taurus, right? What comes after Aries? Taurus. So it would be 0 degrees of Taurus, 1 degrees of Taurus, 2 degrees of Taurus. This would be a big deal. Okay. It's based on who and what you value. It could be your love. It could be significant one-on-one relationships. So you see how this beginning is a huge deal. Mars is a big factor. It's masculine energy so far, masculine energy. Now, when we had the full moon at the beginning of the month, that was feminine energy because Venus rules that full moon. So this whole month, there's like a masculine and a feminine energy. Are we getting married? Are we not? Are we going into business together or are we not? Where are we going? Where's our future headed? What do we want for our future? And is this person going to be a part of that future? This month we have cardinal energies being stressed and squared by Taurus energy, by Taurus. Did I say Taurus? It's not by Taurus, it's by Mars. Mars is creating squares. It is angling up with the Libra energy and angling in a stressful way with the Aries energy. So it's like, is it just me or is there going to be a we in this picture, right? So keep these things in your mind, keep these things in your heart, the new beginning, see if you have something at those degrees. Again, in Aries, it's 28 and 29 degrees, and then Taurus at 0, 1, even 2 degrees of Taurus. This is about where you're headed for your future. This is about a new beginning. This is about you honing in on what and who you value and who is going to be a part of your future. And you feeling like, if this person's not going to be a part of my future, I need to know this, right? So that point on, you start making choices. You may be going to plan B. All right. So Pisces, I hope this has helped. You have any questions, let me help you out. Comment to me down below. Say, gee, this is what's going on, or this is what I need help with. I can help you out in the best way that I can. All right. So enjoy, Pisces. Enjoy your April 2023. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Below the video, I'll have all the degrees for those of you who like to pay attention to the degrees in your chart. Again, if you don't know and you want to know, just comment below.